Hello, welcome po sa third episode dito po sa series ng Ask the Expert with Doc Joan Rifareal. Our special series only for International Women's Day, ngayong International Women's Month, no? Syempre para sa mga kababaihan. And the first two episodes, sinamahan tayo ni Doc Joan para pag-usapan ang PTSD, no? Recovering from trauma. And episode 2, we spoke about the effects of sexual harassment. So kung na-miss niyo po ang episodes na yon, please make sure to look at the videos tab of our Facebook page so you can watch our previous episodes in this series na talaga namang makakatulong sa inyo. So Doc Joan, this time around, ang kakausapin naman natin, moms like us.
Wow! Yes! Hello, mga moms!
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Kai. Thank you for having me once again for
Thank you,
episode
Doc.
3.
Episode 3, syempre. So, ito yung parang meat and potatoes, no? Syempre, yung
Yes.
bilang babae, nanay pa, no, Doc? So,
Correct.
sa atin parang kasi culturally, Doc Joan, pag sinabing self-care, I'm not sure about you ha, but ako, nung lumalaya, para bang pag inuna mo yung sarili mo at babae ka, parang they frown upon it, no? Parang culturally, we were raised to have a sense of servitude and putting ourselves last, right? So,
Yes.
but our statement here is that self-care, especially for moms, shouldn't be optional.
Of course.
Why do you think that should be the case, Dr. Joan? Parang why is self-care important?
Yeah, that's a very good question. It's really very important for all the moms to take good care of themselves first. Bakit? Please remember that as moms, we cannot pour from an empty cup. Diba? Kung i-visualize natin, may kape tayo, may cup tayo. Pero kung hindi siya puno, walang laman, then we cannot give, diba? What we do not have. So mas maganda po, alagaan muna. Let's take good care of ourselves first, as moms, as ladies, as kung ano man ang ating mga roles na ginagampanan ngayon, as titas, lolas, para for us to be able to share ourselves later on and take care of those under our care, like our kids, family members, friends, colleagues. So, always, ang remind ko sa lahat, with that cup na yun, we cannot pour from an empty cup, kaya kailangan alagaan natin sarili. Mas maganda, fill our cups until they runneth over. Para yung nagsispill na siya, sumusobra na siya sa cup, then, i-share na natin yun. We can share and give ourselves to our family, to our loved ones, to our colleagues, and to everyone na who would need our help.
Okay. So, ang naalala ko kanina, Dr. while you were answering, di ba yung sinasabi na happy wife, happy life? Laging sinasabi ng mga ano. Pero iniisip ko, siguro kung happy woman, meron din siyang to family, di ba? Happy mom din siya, magiging happy partner din siya, magiging happy office mate din siya. Tama ba?
Tama. Kasi of course, it will extend. Kung ano yung natin, no? Emotions and feelings. Of course, it will really start within us. Kasi nga, yun pa lang, no? Dun siya magmamatter always. Kasi pag low bat tayo, when we feel irritable, kasi kulang pala tayo sa tulog, or feeling natin na uupos na tayo, nalolobat na wawala na tayo ng energy, then definitely it can also affect our functionality sa ating roles as moms, sa ating role sa trabaho, sa ating role sa ating mga opisina or sa ating mga friends. So talagang meron siyang impact, no? So it will always have that ripple effect kung talagang sa atin pa lang is kulang and we are not able to feel that, no? Yung that happiness from within us.
All right. So what happens, Doc Joan, when self-care is not being practiced or even prioritized? Parang, how does that manifest? Yung mga simple acts of self-care, how do they manifest in our physical health or something? Parang, do they have those kinds of manifestations?
Yes. So, when we say health kasi, Kai, it's always an interplay ng physical, mental, emotional, and social health and well-being. So, kung wala yung self-care natin, it can manifest in mga symptoms ng it can manifest through our physical health. For example, kung wala ang self-care, hindi tayo nakapag-relax, recharge, kulang tayo sa tulog, for example, then it can affect our physical health. Like it may push our stress hormone levels it may push them to mga levels na talagang beyond the norm. So it can have an impact sa ating blood pressure, sa ating blood sugar. It can affect our mga other hormones sa ating katawan. Another naman is mentally or emotionally. Pag talagang walang self-care, pwedeng irritable tayo. Kung kulang sa tulog, pagising sa umaga, parang we feel na cognitively nalilito tayo, we feel confused, we cannot focus, our attention span is too short, and we get to feel very irritable and irritated sa ating mga kasama sa trabaho or sa bahay. And socially, pwede also kung kulang tayo sa self-care. Parang ang manifestation niya is there's a tendency to just isolate ourselves. Parang nawawalan tayo ng gana to mingle, to foster mga relationships with our family members and loved ones. So, of course, meron talaga siyang impact and again, it's always an interplay of all of these mga yung the elements of health. So, physical, mental, emotional, and social health and well-being.
Yeah. Thank you, Doctor.
Yes.
We work with a lot of women, and in the case of the women I work with, I always hear na, di ba, kunyari during the day, middle of the work week, pagod na, and then you tell them, pahinga ka muna. Di bale sa Friday, pupunta naman ako sa spa eh. Di bale sa weekend, pupunta naman ako. Is that enough, Doc Joan? Parang weekend warriors for self-care? Does it have to wait until the end of the week? Is that enough? Or should we do it every day?
Oh, the best advice for this guy, of course, ano pa rin siya, it's a case-to-case basis. No? So, kasi meron naman talagang other mga ladies na talagang for them, pwede na yung once a week na treat nila for themselves. But what I always suggest then or remind everyone is that every day, meron tayong mga mas maganda. We have mga specific na kahit na a few minutes lang of protected time for ourselves na pwede naman kasi na we are not aware of but we are practicing self-care already during those mga short breaks natin and short protected times. Hindi lang siguro as bongga as halimbawa a weekend na spa, but again, yung mga protected times na yun, like for example, lunch break. Oh, self-care na rin yun, no? When you take naps after yung lunch natin, take naps kasi we know na part of self-care is to maintain that pa rin, no? Yung we are alert, awake, enthusiastic after a nap, no? So that's part of self-care. Or yung nightly skincare routine natin. So self-care pa rin yun, no? Yung tayo warm baths before we go to bed at night. So siguro hindi lang kaagad siya na we-recognize as self-care because we do it routinely, but they can still be considered as forms of taking good care of ourselves. Yung mga short and protected times for us. And mas maganda, studies have shown in fact that mas maganda if we have these regular na protected times for our self-care. Kahit na short minutes of me time, siguro after a long day of work, then have that me time to just relax lang, maligo, warm bath, or shower, na talagang no distractions. That is good already para for us to be able to recharge, feel more refreshed. So mga ganon. So may mga specific activities na not really as bongga, but if you look at it and if we do it regularly, it can also help us recover physically, mentally, emotionally.
So ang ko is talagang kailangan din may consistency sa self-care.
Yes! Oo. Mas maganda, there's a routine. We follow a routine also. Kasi yung routine din kasi, Kai, it gives us that sense of structure din. Na parang, kahit in this time of pandemic ngayon, na parang there's a lot of uncertainty sa ngayon, parang a lot of things beyond our control. Having that routine, in fact, is one way for us to regain that sense of control. Kahit dun pa lang sa routine, sa structure, we have control over those. So let's make the most out of those mga short breaks natin during the day, mga short me time. Kahit yung listening to music, podcasts, mga motivational songs. of course, those are part na rin, no, of self-care. Waking up in the morning and feeling grateful. Kasama yan, Kai, no? Kasi that naman will address yung our need for yung to address or to give importance to our spiritual na naman, health and well-being. So part of self-care pa rin yun.
Yeah, so medyo nasagot mo na partially yung last question ko for
Yes.
this episode, Doc Joan. Pero para lang to wrap this episode with practical tips. Kasi ang laging iniisip ng ating mga babae, di ba? Ba't pa ako magsi-self-care? Kulang nga yung budget ko sa kailangan ng pamilya ko. Di ba? Yung parang, yung feeling of guilt, Doc Joan ba, na ba't ko pwede treat yung sarili ko, kulang pa nga to para sa anak ko. So, to close this episode, let's leave our viewers with these final tips. How can we practice self-care if we don't have a lot of funds and we don't have a lot of time?
Oh, okay. This is a very good question kasi it's truly understandable, especially during this time of pandemic, talagang all of us, regardless of age, status in life, profession, lahat talaga tayo, we have been affected or we are going through our own mga challenges during this time. And one of that really is yung effects on our finances, ating time also, especially when we multitask. Mas maganda kung walang funds to go out for a massage, for a salon na makeover, mga ganon. Be creative. Ito ang tinatawag natin na do the things in your home which would make you feel good and happy. Hindi naman kailangan expensive to. So for example, yung iba, sumasayaw lang sila, no? They dance to these very, yung very, mga popular songs ngayon, na pang disco. Sumasayaw-sayaw sila, or they do yung mga sa apps ngayon, like TikToking, or they, halimbawa, nagsistretching, exercise, even hindi naman talaga yung gym levels, kung wala tayong gym membership. What's important is we do the things which make us feel good and happy, kasi this will boost pa rin, our levels of endorphins, or the happy hormones. And of course, yung other hormones also, which would boost our mood, like serotonin. Ang serotonin, it's a very good hormone. No? It gives us that sense of happiness also. It boosts our mood. Exposure to sunlight, that would boost our level of serotonin. Kaya yung iba, during this time of pandemic, nag-ano sila, gardening. So, ang daming benefits nun. So, it doesn't have to be expensive, di ba? Pupunta lang tayo sa labas, walking, gardening, tending to our plants. O yung iba naman, nag-ano sila, nagdo-draw, scribble, journaling also, kasi it's also a way of self-care. Kasi it's also a way of expressing ourselves, like, in the same way na parang may kausap tayo na, halimbawa, na doctor or therapist, but we write it through journaling. So, we can be creative, right, and do things from the comforts of our homes now, which can cost us nothing, but the benefits are really tremendous.